Putting your life together after a bad breakup, always great fodder for sitcoms. And Netflix has one with Survival of the Thickest. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the Netflix series Survival of the Thickest. This stars Michelle Buteau, who is no stranger to the Netflix universe. She already hosts a show there called The Circle, but we've seen her pop up in other things, including Aquafina is Nora from Queens, and she was in the J-Lo movie Marry Me a couple years ago. But she's probably best known for her podcast, which is very popular, and she talks about sort of her life's problems. So we'll get into the specifics of this particular show and my thoughts on it here in just a second. But first, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do movie and TV reviews here on the channel. Please consider subscribing. Hit that like button, comment below. All of those things, of course, are helpful to the channel. And if you are more interested in the TV stuff or the movie stuff or some of my specialized videos, I have playlists on the homepage that you can check out that will sort of be more to, get you to write what you need so you don't get sort of lost in the sauce with all the different videos that I put up. But all right, let's talk about this one, Survival of the Thickest. So this is about Michelle's character, Mavis, who is a stylist, and she is trying to really put her life back together. Both, her professional life, her relationship life, and her home life, all of those things sort of, hitting an impasse, let's say. And yes, she is a bigger gal, so that's where you get the name Survival of the Thickest, and they invoke Lizzo's name a few times in this show as well. But this is, a pretty popular thing to do lately on these types of streaming shows that get, maybe 8 or 10 episodes. They really focus in on kind of one person, and it is not necessarily autobiographical, but kind of there's definitely shades of the real person in there. And I get the sense that that is kind of what this show is doing. And another example in sort of the plus size world is Shrill on Hulu, which ran 3 seasons with Adie Bryant. And she didn't necessarily write or create that, I don't think. I think she was just tapped to star in it. But, it really kind of showcased, I think, a lot of her, feelings and emotions about being plus size and all of that. And then, Rami was another one. Rami Youssef, the comedian, he had that show where it was, here's what it's like for me to be, Muslim American and all that kind of thing. So this sort of takes some pages from that, and I'm sure there's some of the things that she's talked about maybe on the podcast that work their way in here. I think she may have written a book as well, Michelle Buteau. But her co-stars here are Tone Bell and Tasha Smith. And yeah, this show really works. I mean, it's very funny. And she is a funny person. I have not listened to her podcast, other than, her appearances on some shows. I didn't really know who she was. And it's funny, she reminds me a lot, both in look and voice, and her tone and pattern of speaking reminds me a lot of Nicole Byer, who I'm a little more familiar with, from the shows that she has hosted. And she was on this NBC sitcom Grand Crew that I really liked. So she reminds me of Nicole Byer a bit, it kind of in her phrasing and her speech and stuff. It's sort of like, to me, if Grand Crew focused just on Nicole Byer's character, because they're not that dissimilar. They're both about the same age, and bigger black women, sort of, figuring out their life and their relationship stuff and all that. So, but this was a really funny show. I liked her chemistry with her co-stars. Tone Bell is also a stand-up comedian. I'm not sure if they knew each other beforehand or whatever, but they have a really good chemistry together. Maybe a couple too many mentions of Lizzo. We get it. She's sort of the body positive model of the day. But, I would rather we focus more on, the characters at hand than talking about Lizzo. But whatever. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. People in the real world would sort of lean on, who they know or whatever in the public eye. But I have no word yet on whether this is going to have a second season or not. But I think the response to this has been pretty good so far. So, hopefully we do, because I think this is funny. It's got good situations. and it's not all about, like, I feel like Shrill, A.D. Bryant's show, was very good. I think I gave the first season a B plus. I didn't rate the others, but that focus, I think, a little too much though on that one facet of her, which was sort of the plus size nature of it all. Whereas here, we get a much more, I think, well rounded character, where yes, that is part of it and part of her thought process, when entering into the dating pool and that kind of thing. But it certainly does not define her in any way, and I think it makes the Mavis character a bit more well-rounded. And so, yeah, this was a winner for me. I give Survival of the Thickest an A minus, and you can check that out on Netflix now. I believe there are 10 episodes? No, 8. Yeah, they like to shorten those seasons. So, but you can check that out now on Netflix. Thank you so much for watching. Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.